Hi, this is Karen Gaines, your nonprofit finance guide, and today I am going to talk about the 4 parts of the grant process. When applying for and receiving grants, it is important to understand the whole grant process. Generally, when talking about grants, the only thing that is discussed is the receiving part of grant funding, and that's it. While receiving grant funding is great, it is important to note all of the other parts of the grant funding process. So let's go through them. The first part of the grant funding process is grant research, then grant application, next grant management, and last but not least is funder relationship. So let's go through them one by one. 1. Grant research. Grant research is the first part of the grant funding process. Grant research consists of identifying grants to apply for. This step is very important because you want to select the ones you believe you will be awarded, as a grant application takes a lot of time and effort to complete. During this step, you want to clearly identify what you want funding for and how much funding you need. If you don't do this, you will aimlessly apply for grants, and if you receive funding, the funding you receive may not line up with your nonprofit's mission. The next step in the process is the grant application. So during this step, you respond to all of the questions on the grant application. This typically includes questions about your organization, your mission, as well as questions as to what you plan to do with the funding and what outcomes are expected as a result of you receiving this funding. The grant application itself can be either simple or straightforward or long and involved. Foundation funding applications tend to have a more straightforward application process, while federal funding applications are longer and more involved. Before starting a grant application, it is best to review it and estimate how much time it's going to take you and your team to complete the application. Additionally, plan to submit the application a few days early to give yourself some breathing room and time just in case something comes up. Number 3 is grant management. So once you've done all the work to look for the right grant application, complete the application, you have been awarded funding. This is great news. And now you have to manage the funding that you've just been awarded. This means reviewing what is expected of you, writing down any deadlines to ensure you don't miss them, and tracking how much funding is spent and providing financial reports to the funder. So you are going to want to make sure you're doing all of that to properly manage the grant funding. This step takes time, and a plan should be put in place to which parties in your organization will manage the funding. Ignoring this step could get you into some trouble, as the funder will eventually want to know how you are managing its funds. The last part of the grant funding process is relationships. So it is vital that you remain in contact with the funder. This could mean sending updates via email or meeting in person periodically to communicate with them, how their funds are being spent. Some grants require that grantees meet with grantors once a month or once a quarter to provide updates on how funds are being used. Keeping open communication with the funder allows you to communicate any problems or potential problems to the funder. For example, let's say the funding you received required that you hire an additional employee to deliver a particular service. However, you may be having a difficult time finding an employee to fit that position. This is information you would want to relay to the funder so they are not caught off by surprise and they are kept informed of what is going on with their money. Each part of the grant process should be acknowledged. Ignoring these steps will lead to wasted time, frustration, and that's frustration on the part of you and the funder, and also missed opportunities. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you all think. If you're watching via YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a great day.